Hello and welcome to another video on the channel. In this one we're gonna be looking at few tools that I have in my work pouch or my tool bag that I carry around whenever I have things to work on. These two tools are kind of interchangeable. Sometimes I bring this one, sometimes I bring this one, or both. And the reason is because I don't often have to deal with screws that have this flathead for this flathead screwdriver. It's usually Phillips screws if there are any, but these are kind of pry tools, something that they use to separate things. Sometimes usually for wood, sometimes for different materials, and most often than not, it's prying things apart. These two both have these metal parts where you hit with a hammer. So the thing is, I wanted to test both of them, like the use cases and the which one is more valuable in a toolkit. So I did spend like a week comparing, not actively but kind of passively. Sometimes I just bring this one and see if I'm going to use it. Sometimes I bring this one. And what I realized is Chisel is pretty much far used much more than this thing. And the reason is this handle, not just the handle, but this metal, it's not that effective in prying things apart. You kind of want something that's a little flatter, that can go behind things and just to have a little more leverage. With the screwdriver, I usually just put a little bit and then work separating things. With the chisel, I try to get as deep as possible on the tool, so I do have a little more leverage with this tool. Definitely because it's a longer tool. You can get a screwdriver that's even longer, but for my everyday tool carry, I think this length is just enough. I don't like those long tools because the bag I carry is kind of as long as this chisel. So I do have a longer screwdriver, but it's even longer than that. So I don't use that one. I do carry this one. But in my experience for prying things, chisel is unbeatable still. Screwdriver, it's very usable, definitely. It does have magnetic tip. This doesn't. So you can pick up screws with this thing. The thing is, with the screwdriver, it's much harder to dig out screws that are sunk into wood, for example. With chisel, it's a little more sharp, a little sharper at the end, so I can dig screws or nails much more effectively. It's not as easy as with some other tools, but I think this is one of the best tools for that. Screwdriver, it will damage quite a lot, and it's more often than not to use hammer to start, to just sink, and I make a lot of mess. Just sometimes I damage wood, like I make a crease on the wood just because I hit too hard trying to get to the nail. With a chisel, it's more often than not, don't even use a hammer and just work by hand and sunk into deep into the wood and get to the nail that sunk in. So chisel is far better pry tool than this screwdriver. Or I tried different screwdrivers, even the longer one, and I don't see it beating this chisel anyway. Screwdriver is definitely more used for what it's designed for, to work on those flathead screws, but chisel with a little sharper edge can also work for that. So even though I used it more, for I use this screwdriver more for flathead screws when I have this, I don't mind using this chisel for that because it works pretty much the same way. I don't see any difference between these two. One other thing that screwdriver is good for is, as you can see, it does have this hexagonal um, blade, I'd say, where you can use some tool to just rotate it. But with chisel, you can just use pliers, and you have a little more leverage when you are trying to get to the to twist the flathead screws if you really struggle to start it. So I'd say chisel is even better for that. But with this one, I guess it's you can use wrenches a little easier. But for pliers, I think it's even better to use on chisel. Chisel is also great if you want to hammer things, if you want to break things. And in screwdriver, it's kind of easier to use with a shorter blade length, but that's like you can get even shorter screwdrivers than this. But I'd say, in my experience, this is the one I would choose out of flathead screwdrivers. This one in particular, because I tried and I cannot break it. A lot of tool, a lot of tools in my tool bag I chose just because tool is stronger than me. I cannot break it easily, or I cannot break it at all. I cannot damage it. So it's a very sturdy tool. Thinner screwdrivers I can probably break, especially if I use some help for leverage. But this one, it resists really well, so I can try my best, even put my body weight, and a lot of times, and just wouldn't budge. It just works. It stays pretty much in shape. This is one of the newer ones I get, so I do have another one of these, and I damaged a little bit this plastic handle. So it is plastic. It's not the most comfortable. This is very comfortable handle. I think one of the most comfortable handles I ever dealt with in tools. This one, I don't like it. It's pretty uncomfortable, especially if you grip a little hard. These spikes are spikes. They impale you pretty much. It leaves like red marks here if you use tool too much, and especially if you damage this plastic, it can cut when broken. So easily it will easily break. So don't use any like wrench here or any pliers to make grip. Use it here. I did make mistake because I did sunk this screwdriver too much, so I couldn't use here. But yeah, I got a new screwdriver basically to deal with that. So don't when I work with the tool, I usually have my finger here, so it's very uncomfortable when this thing is broken and it just cuts you. You can put tape or anything, but I don't want to deal with that. Sometimes I just I like making tools out of tools, so sometimes I would just cut this thing and just use this as a EDC pry bar. You can use that. You can make a little hole here, make a little chain, put a keychain, and just carry this. If you can do tooling, can make tools out of this, I would make that. Also, chisel does have parallel lines here. Also here they're parallel lines, but they're thinner. This thing you can make, you have like 12 millimeters, so when you measure something to make like steps or something like that, what distance it is all the way this length. And here I don't know exactly what it is, so I cannot rely on that much. But with chisel I know the distance, and that's a great thing with the chisel. It helps at times, and it really helps to have that, especially when you're lifting something. For example, if you have two planks of wood and you have one chisel on the end, you just make like a wedge, another, how you call that, put something to hold the wood on one side, and just elevate this other side, and just that the distance here, if it's of course flat, at the bottom that it's 12 millimeters. And if you have like thicker chisels, you can use that to make like steps. I didn't have a project for that, so that's one of the unique use cases for this thing. So it works really well. You can lift things from like pretty heavy things, and you can lift, so you can make something at the bottom to lift this even more. But with screwdriver it's harder to do so. It's not that easy, especially because you lift only with the end here, not the whole length, so it's not going to be flat. But a niche use, I guess, for that. But I just happen to have that occasion that I needed to, or that would help, so it did help me. With the chisel you learn to respect it a lot, especially when you have a problem that only this tool will fix. That's especially the moment where you learn uh, to have this by your side pretty much anytime you're working on something, even if it's in your workshop or at the field, whatever it is. Screwdriver, it's probably more common tool. That's why I wanted to make this comparison. So you're probably using screwdrivers for a lot of applications where chisel would do the same job or more. And I would prefer carrying this thing over screwdriver, especially flathead. Phillips, I don't think chisel will replace that, but this one, I'd say magnet tip. You can magnetize this metal on a chisel, but I don't see that much application. I do have like smaller screwdrivers with this magnetized tip, so I use that. Like I do carry Phillips screw, so it is easy to pick up screws with that. So I don't need this thing. So my point with this video is to show you two tools that I really that I really used for prying things, especially recently where I started working with some wooden furniture that I'm trying to repair. These two tools I do use kind of interchangeably. Sometimes I just wedge a screwdriver and work with a chisel, or other way around, depending on the space. And chisel it's just such a better tool for that. It's hard to compare the performance of these two. I might make videos on this channel of me actually using these tools and working with them. I know that would be much better for actual comparison, but I think there's just so many use cases for these that you can think of yourself by just looking at these tools, what they can be used for in your use cases. So you can choose which one to bring. It's of course always best to have both of them, so you can have them when you need them. A lot of tools work well if you have multiple of, or a lot of tools work better together with some other tool. So these two can be used to pry things and work a little by little. It does help, but I'd say two chisels will do better job than having a screwdriver and a chisel. But of course I don't like having two of the same tools when I bring stuff, because usually I struggle with space, because I do have like a backpack, or it's a side thing that I'm on my way from work, so you cannot carry some too big of a tool bag, or cannot bring too many tools in general. So these two I don't usually bring, just one of them. It's by my side, but without them that's a struggle. Just think of not having them. Well, it's better to have a screwdriver at least to do pry work and try to fix something. So yeah, definitely great tools. I love them. Definitely, if you're getting screwdrivers, get some that you can use hammer, even if it's just a rubber hammer or plastic hammer. The same as with chisel, you don't have to use like a iron hammer or any steel hammer. You can use like plastic or rubber hammers work with these tools. I would prefer that actually. So you can get a lot more use from the tool if you have this option to use a screwdriver as a chisel. Some chisels, I don't know why, don't have this metal part where you can use it to hit a tool. I think it's really dumb, but this one does have it, and it's a perfect feature for it. Anyway, this is a lengthy video. I hope you like it. I will leave a link in the description for screwdriver and a chisel if you want to check it out. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video on the channel. Bye!